Well, to be honest with you, would I recommend living in a car or living in a van? To be honest with you, I would say it's probably not for most people. I would not recommend it for most people. However, I would not tell someone what they can or can't do. If they're an adult and if that's their decision, that's their decision. Why would I not recommend it for most people? Because I know most of human nature is they would not do good with all the moving and all the adapting. Most people are lazy. They need a lot of structure. They need a lot of stability. And you put yourself at a lot of risk because if something happens on the road, you need to get off the road. You need a level of financial wherewithal, at least $5,000 first and last month security deposit or whatever it may be. You know, I don't think most people that are looking to live in their car are financially stable, emotionally stable, or even physically stable. I think there's some exceptions, like myself and some others I've met. So, again, this is a general statement here. In general terms, I think most people who are living in their vehicle are not stable. They're unstable, mentally, emotionally, and financially. So I don't think adding more instability helps them. I think it hurts them. I think they should, if you're unstable, emotionally, physically, financially, I think you should see a social worker. I think you should try to hook up with some community subsidies, whether through the government or through local charities, and get back on your feet so you can stabilize yourself. I think if you're very young, if you want to live in your car, that's fine, but you should focus also on your career and building your life. And if you can do that from the road through technology or through traveling, that's fine, but be conscious to do that. For those who are retired on a fixed income, I think, again, if you have the physical wherewithal, that's great. But if you're doing it to live on below average Social Security, I don't think you want to do it. And I think eventually your body's going to break down and you're not going to be able to do it. So you at least should start the process of looking like, you know, I don't know. It's like, you know, would I recommend living out of a car? Well, again, if you're financially, emotionally, and physically stable and you want to, yes. If you don't want to and you're not stable, look into local government or charity programs that can help you. And if you're delusional and you just think living in your car is going to save you all this money and you're going to figure out your career, you're going to figure out your life on the road, I would not recommend it. You should do whatever you want. You're an adult. These are my opinions based on my experience of 4 years on the road. When I got on the road, I had sold my house, and I sold my house not out of desperation, just out of I was ready to liquidate and come down to Florida. Okay. And I got in my car saying, yeah, if I need to, I'll try it. If it doesn't work out, I'm going to probably eventually buy something in Florida anyway. So I did not get into living in my car out of volatility. I was still stable, even though it was scary and a little rocky to start it, but I figured I'm middle-aged, I can give it a shot now. I had my life already situated mainly physically, emotionally, and financially. So it was like, you know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I have no pets, no kids. Everything else was stable. So I had the luxury to add more instability. So, again, I think a lot of people who are looking to live in their car they're very unstable and they're looking for something like living in their car or van to stabilize their life because they think they're going to save all this money. And what they realize is they'll see is they become more unstable mentally, emotionally, and financially. And it's very hard to get out of that algorithm. So, you know, that's kind of been my experience. And that's why sometimes I feel bad about sharing videos about living in my car and maybe how fun it may be, because everyone takes that and says, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I don't want to tell people don't do it because who am I to tell them? But I also look at some of the comments and some of the mindsets behind how they look at living in a car and what information they're looking to know. Like, you know, like, what do you do? They ask you like questions, like basic questions of like just basic life, that I say, man, if someone has to ask a basic question like that, there's no shame in asking questions, so I don't want to be disrespectful, but it's like, you shouldn't have to ask anyone if you should live in your car, or how do you get through the day, or where do you park, or how do you stay hot, or how do you stay cold, or how do you maintain a job. If you have to ask those basic things, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means, like, I don't know, man, you're not focused on, or you didn't do the research, or you're just mentally not where I would recommend someone be to live in their car. But, you know, and sometimes I just feel dirty, like, sharing living out of my car, because then, like, you tend to connect with people that are totally outcast. And I don't judge anyone, but I'm, at the same time, guys, I'm not looking to connect with people that are totally mentally unstable. I mean, why would I do that? I wouldn't do that if I was living in a house. You know, so that's just fact. And I wouldn't recommend you do that either. I wouldn't recommend you connect with people that are not doing anything with their life. They're emotionally unstable and they want to live in their car. Guys, I'm like, ooh, I feel dirty. So, you know, that's just a fact reality. That's truth. I'm giving it to you straight up. Not out of disrespect, out of empathy, but out of clear, direct communication so that you know kind of what I think. And look, I love the freedom of living in a car. I do. It works for me at this season of my life. I really don't want to get back into a regular life, but, you know, at a certain point I probably am. It's just like, you know, I don't know, man. It's just, either way, there's pros and cons. But I love the flexibility. I love the freedom. If you can make money on the road and if you can live your life, and you have to figure out how, okay? You know, don't ask other people how you should make your life work. I mean, if you have to do that, guys, I mean, again, you got to go see a social worker, because that's what a social worker, that's their job, to figure out how they can help guide your life. They're an adult guidance counselor, and there's no shame in that. But guys, don't ask me. I'm not a social worker. I'm a YouTuber. You know, it's like, to me, yeah, I don't know, man. Everyone's different, you know. So that's just kind of like my overall take on living in your car. It's a basic life, and not much to it. If you have to ask a lot of questions, your mindset's not right, because not a lot to know. You have to have a tenacity, a mindset, a stability, an overall game plan that you have to figure out for your individual circumstance. And you shouldn't be looking for recommendations or for advice. You should be looking, because, you know, this is what I want to tell you. The person who asks your advice, they don't want to take advice from anyone, okay, about anything. But all of a sudden, now they want advice. They don't want advice. They want you to tell them they should do it. Everything will be fine. And then when they do it, they're going to blame you. I had people do that to me. I had some people online say, oh, I blame you. I should never lived in my car. And I'm like, guys, do whatever you want, okay? So these are just my opinions, my thoughts, my videos. Everyone has their own, but I hope through me talking this out, you get some insight on kind of how I look at the lifestyle of living in a car. How I think it has pros, the flexibility. You can save a little bit, but mainly the flexibility, the lack of entanglements, the lack of commitment, the lack of maintenance. But guys, I still have to change my tires. I have to change my car battery. I've had issues. So, you know, I don't have air conditioning. I can't stand up. I'm constantly moving. Everyone's different. You know, I don't think a lot of people, guys, I think people are lazy. They don't want to do shit, and they just want to sit. Some people can do it. I'm not going to lie. I see some people living in their van. They figure out how to do nothing. So, I don't know. I can't recommend that, because that's not who I am. So, but either way, you know, I just hope talking this out helps you a little bit. But I guess I've become kind of bitter or resentful towards just that whole, I don't know, the living in the car thing is fun. But I guess, again, I just tend to connect with some, not all, people that are just like, I don't know, delusional. That's the best way to accurately describe it. And they don't understand life. And so it's like, talking to someone who's delusional can totally destroy your mental health. Because it's like, you know, you can only talk to someone who's delusional for so long before you get annoyed or agitated, or you're like, you don't know what the hell's going on in the world. So, you know, look, it's not my fault, guys. I didn't create the world, but that's how I feel. So either way, hopefully these videos help. If they do, click that thumbs up. You want to support the channel, click that blue join button. Would I recommend you live in a car? On average, no. If you're the exception, yes. And that's the bottom line, okay? And hopefully that helped you. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.